Now, as many of you know, Alabama has been losing several players to the NCAA transfer portal. Recently, Alabama lost 3 wide receivers to the portal. Kobe Prentice, followed by Caleb Odom, and then Kendrick Law. But why? And why did Caleb Odom end up transferring from the University of Alabama? When he came into Alabama, he was recruited by Nick Saban. 6'4", 220 pounds, out of Carrollton, Georgia, right? Teammates with Juju Lewis, who just committed to Colorado. He was reportedly one of the most skilled catchers in the class of 2024. And when he came to Alabama, as you rewind, Alabama actually had him as a tight end. Even though he played wide receiver at the high school position, I think he caught over 70 passes for 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns during his junior season. He changed positions after being an early enrollee from tight end to wide receiver. Everybody was excited about this, and it seemed like that was the best fit for Caleb Odom here at the University of Alabama. Now, when you look to the lack of production this season, you have to wonder why. Was it because of Jalen Milroe, that he couldn't run the offense effectively? That he didn't give Caleb Odom the football? That the wide receivers didn't get fed? I mean, hard to go to other targets, I guess, if you have Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard were eaten, right? It's really a 2 wide receiver combo this year. And I kind of wonder if the wide receivers are leaving, Kobe, Kendrick, and Caleb, maybe they know something that we don't know. With that said, Caleb Odom leaving the University of Alabama, in my mind, is a big loss. I kind of go back to what Nick Saban said about how you recruit your wide receivers. Almost like a basketball team. You have your point guards, your shooting guards, your guys like Kobe Prentice, your guys who are your slot receivers. Then you have like your power forwards. Someone who I felt Caleb Odom would be. And I think he would really complement Ryan Williams quite well. However, this past season, while he played in pretty much every single game for the Alabama Crimson Tide, the production just wasn't there from a catch to touchdown ratio, right? He barely got the ball. In fact, the quarterback that targeted him the most was Ty Simpson. Kind of rewind to that game against Wisconsin. It seemed like there was a little bit of connection there between Ty Simpson and Caleb Odom. Jamarcus Shepard had some really good things to say about Caleb Odom kind of during the mid-year. After Caleb Odom went to social media, and I can't even remember what he said, but he seemed like he was unhappy with the system. Basically, probably not happy with getting the football. Jamarcus Shepard said he's growing, learning how to practice at a high level, learning to play wide receiver at a high level. Said his instincts are growing as well. In the springtime, Alabama offensive coordinator Nick Sheridan had this to say: every day Caleb does something to impress you, and every day there's still things for him to improve on. And I know Coach Shep is pointing those things out. There's no doubt in my mind that if Caleb Odom stays here at the University of Alabama, that eventually he is going to get fed. But I think when you come into a system and you're a 4-star, highly coveted 5-star, whatever, and you don't get the football right away, I think people behind you start talking. Now, I'm not saying that this is the case with Caleb Odom. I'm just saying I think if he's patient, he's talented enough to have a really productive career at the University of Alabama. As I said, I think he complements Ryan Williams extremely well. This guy would be an absolute mismatch problem on the outside in the red zone with a quarterback that can really operate Coach Kalen DeBoer's offense. Now, I have a question for you. Out of the 3 wide receivers that are leaving Alabama from this graphic, Kobe Prentice, Caleb Odom, Kendrick Law, which wide receiver do you think Alabama will miss most during the 2025 season? Type A for Kobe Prentice, Type B for Caleb Odom, and Type C for Kendrick Law. In thinking about it, look, Kobe Prentice is a fine wide receiver, and I think wherever he ends up, he still has some miles on him. Kendrick Law, I thought that he would have had more of an impact over the last 3 seasons. It's still amazing to me that he only caught 1 touchdown during his career with the University of Alabama. So I probably go with B because I think Caleb Odom has a lot of upside to him, but I don't know. I want to hear from you inside the comment box. In terms of the quarterback situation for next season, I think just like you, I'm waiting for the announcement on Jalen Milroe, if he's going to stay or go. I'm leaning that he goes. I think that's kind of the consensus for everybody, right? So here's a graphic for the 2025 quarterback room here at the University of Alabama. And I'm curious, if you set down those 3 wide receivers that are transferring out from the University of Alabama, and you said, here are the quarterbacks that are vying for the spot. Here are the quarterbacks that can operate the offense. Would those 3 wide receivers still leave, right? That's what I'm asking. And I'm wondering, do those wide receivers know something that we don't? Because look, whether it's Ty Simpson, Dylan Lonergan, Austin Mack, or Keelan Russell, my goodness, these guys can absolutely operate Coach Kalen DeBoer's offense. And I really feel that we haven't seen the true offense under Coach Kalen DeBoer just yet. Now, I have no idea where Caleb Odom ends up. I think there's a little bit of smoke out there that he could end up being Ole Miss Rebel. He was recruited by Lane Kiffin. Here's a photo of him before he committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. A lot of people saying that he could go to Colorado. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of upside here with Caleb Odom. And we have learned that other wide receivers that have left Alabama, they've been successful at other programs, right? Moderately, you could say. Isaiah Bond had a really good season this year. Ja'Cory Brooks, Malik Benson, I know he went to Florida State, but he was their featured wide receiver. There's probably a couple other guys that I'm not mentioning. But look, Caleb Odom, I really wish he would have stayed, to be honest. I think the other guys, it makes a little bit of sense because they're veteran wide receivers, but can you imagine Ryan Williams along with Derek Meadows, Latsier Brooks, a healthy Jalen Hell, right? It's fun to think about that wide receiver room and kind of what could be. I just keep going back to why did Caleb Odom leave, right? What do you think? Why do you think that he left? I want to hear from you inside the comment box. Maybe you have thought of something. Maybe it's as simple as the fact that he didn't get fed this year and he's fed up with the system and he wants to go somewhere where he could be the featured wide receiver. Now, can he be that featured wide receiver? Well, I think that's yet to be seen because we just haven't seen the production. But based off what could be and his overall skill set, I think he could be a dominating wide receiver, not only in college football, but also in the NFL. Now, I want to hear from you inside the comment box. Why do you think he left? And how big of a loss is it for the Alabama Crimson Tide? Appreciate you guys watching. Definitely hit the thumbs up. And I'll catch up with you as news happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube.